Μαζί μας ο κύριος Faruolo, Artistic Director of Porta Coeli Foundation, θα παρουσιάσει τη θεματική «Φυγόκεντρη τέχνη, αποκέντρωση και στραβισμός της σύγχρονης καλλιτεχνικής παραγωγής». Ο κύριος Faruolo είναι πτυχιούχος Εικαστικών Τεχνών και Οπτικών Επικοινωνιών. Εξειδικεύεται στην επικοινωνία για την πολιτιστική κληρονομιά. Εργάζεται στον χώρο των Εικαστικών Τεχνών ως επιμελητής, μοντέρ και σχεδιαστής οπτικής επικοινωνίας. Δίδαξε στις ακαδημίες του Παλέρμο, του Τορίνο και της Φότζια, όπου σήμερα κατέχει την έδρα. Mr. Faruolo.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for your attention, and sorry for my English. So my intervention need a presentation. Hope we can screen it. I'm like the artistic director of Porta Coeli Foundation. I want to tell you something about what means arts today in a special matter of today times, that is place making. What it means to make a place. It means that in our times we have a lot of difficulties about the idea of the way we live in a place and why we choose to live in a place. So artistic process and not artistic works can help us to have a deeper reason to be in a place. Please go on. In these slides, we say a point of view. Why I talk about Basilicata in this speech? Not because I want to make a localistic speech, but because Basilicata has had a special role in arts in the 19th century, because it became a certain case of history, like a place that everyone in the world had the necessity to discover after the Second World War. And it became a kind of international case. So in the old 19th century, we had a lot of photographers or anthropologists and so on. They came in Basilicata just to discover something that in a certain way was out of modernity, even if we also have to make problems about this kind of notion. I think that in this kind of discourse, we have to talk about what it means to travel in a certain place, to discover, and to increase our notion of time. Please, can go back? This is a sentence by Goethe that was known as one of the main writers of the 19th century. And also he talked about the ground tour, what it means to travel along a place. He says that travel is not to elude myself, but to know myself in my relation with objects. What it means that while he travels in a place, he doesn't want to see things and so on, but he has to build a relation with the things that he see, because these things in a certain way affects the way he is himself. Please go on. This is his portrait from that time in Rome, while in a certain way he says what it means to travel to a place. Please go on. What happens today, this kind of idea of making themselves different while traveling in a place is completely different. Because today we don't travel to discover something, but we travel because we have to, in a certain way, confirm our expectation about a place. This is what happens maybe on Instagram photos, while we have to testify to people, we have been in this place, we have made these things also, we have done these things. Please go on. This is a photo by Martin Parr. It's so ironic, but it's also useful to clarify this kind of grotesque, this kind of sarcastic way of looking at the idea of seeing things that we don't know before. Please go on. So what happens? That we only travel to try confirmation to what we expect to find in a certain place. There is no way to discover ourselves. There is no way to have a strong relationship with the place that we visit. Go on, please. So in that way, contemporary art processes, and not works, but processes, can help us to build a stronger relationship with the places, a stronger idea what it means to habit in a place. Please go on. This is, from now on, in a certain way, I try to illustrate what it means to make public and relational art today in the peripheries. All these pieces of art are made not in the capitals, not in the main places of the world, but are really important for the history of art of today because they are strongly related to the idea of relationship with people. This is, for a certain kind of history of art, the first work of relational art. It's made by Maria Lai, an artist from Sardinia, that in 1981 created a kind of first relational project in which asked to the people, according to a lot of legends that were in this kind of village, to tie one to another a little ribbon, blue ribbon, so that they could make a kind of long strain all along the village and along the mountain. So this kind of work is called bonding with the mountain. All the village, one to each other, were in a certain way tied together. And this kind of work, in a certain way, is not the idea itself of tying a ribbon to another, but the idea of showing all together the kind of relation that bring us in a certain place and bring us together in that place. Please go on. There is another important work of art. They say it is the biggest work of ambiental art, environmental art. It's made by Alberto Burri. He used to make this kind of cracked always on canvas. But in this case, he decided to make it in a landscape dimension. Please go on. I don't know if you have all seen this place. It's very important for the history of art. It was a place called Gibellina, a little town in Sicily. It was destroyed by an earthquake in 1964. And then the artist was called by the mayor of the time to make a work of art. But he decided not to create a monument, but to make his work that had a dimension in the environmental. So he decided to put concrete on the entire town, on the entire village, like a kind of tomb, a kind of monument that could show the relationship with the people. So the people that were all taken away from this place to a new town in the valley, every time that they want, they can still today go in this place and walk along the old road where their home were placed. Please go on. This is another important work of art in the history of art, of relational art. It was made by Joseph Beuys, one of the biggest artists of 19th century, in Documenta 7, in the little town of Kassel. He decided not to make another work, not to make a monument, but to place in this square, in front of Federicianum, at this important neoclassic building, a lot of big stones in a shape of triangle. And then he decided to sold these stones, and every stone that was sold gave him the opportunity to plant a new oak in the city. Go on, please. This is him that is planting one of the first oak, and this process lasts a lot of years, till his death. At the end of this process, please go on, the whole city had 7,000 oaks. So his work of art consisted in transforming the city in a kind of wood of oaks. The impact of his work was so hard that the identity itself of the place changed. Please go on. This is another intervention of art in the south of Italy, especially in Basilicata. It is a kind of festival that every year in Basilicata happens. It's called A Cielo Aperto, under a wide sky, we can say. And every work is made in the environmental of the city and is made in relationship with the place. You can see a bell tower there please go on. That is on the top of the old village. Is a village that is affected from a strong immigration. And so there are a lot of people that from this town that look at their hometown with nostalgia, with a sense of needing of a strong relationship that they don't have in their new homes. So the artist, Michele Giangrande, decided to transform the bell tower in a lighthouse. During the night, you can sing, you can't hear the bells ringing anymore, but instead of the bells, you see a light, a red light, no? And so this bell tower became a lighthouse, we say in Italian, faro, no? So something that is for people who travel, for people who go away and have to find home. Please go on. This is a work from the curator of this project, Faruolo Aperto, Bianco Valente. They asked the people from this little town in the south of Italy, that is Rocca Gloriosa, to expose their needing about the place where they live. Also, this place is a place affected by strong immigration. And so maybe, sorry, can come back? Maybe this girl, for example, wrote, there is too much solitude in this place, no? And so they had to expose their biggest fear about the future of this place. Go on, please. This is a work of art in Basilicata. This is one of the main artists of my region that is called Dario Carmentano. He also worked with us. And he built this kind of fountain, of source of time, we can say, in the only place in Matera where a little drop of water steals every minute. So the work of art consists in this kind of fountain that collects water that is spilling from the mountain. And then he invites people to go there with a glass and wait for the time of filling the glass that he have to drink. And so he wants to represent a new dimension of time. Please go on. Here is what we want to say about the idea of designing artistic process also in a little small town, not with the idea of making localistic events, but with the idea of giving a contribution to the life of the whole world. No? Today we live in a big city that we didn't choose to live in. And so we need a stronger relationship with the idea of being in a place, being together for a certain reason. This is what, in a certain way, inspires a way of designing processes for art in little towns. This is made by us in Armento, one of these little villages that we talked about. And it's based on the idea of taking back to the imaginary of the people the story of these two saints that were buried in this little town. They are San Vitale, Saint Vitals, Saint Luke, and they are depicted again on a wall of the church by a kind of contemporary iconographist, we can say. It's not exactly an iconography, but is in a dialogue with the idea of iconography. Please go on. And it comes from after 5 centuries from the last time that someone decided to portray themselves. This is so strange that this city, this village, has two saints buried in their churches, but people, in a certain way, don't care anymore about this fact. No, at the point that they have different patrons and not these two saints that were so important for the history of the place. In particular, Saint Luke is depicted in the coat of arms of the village, and I think that his figure is for us important not for a religious aspect, but also for a civil aspect, because he was a saint that had to go away from his hometown, that was Sicily, and always go on to escape from the danger of Turkish people, or Muslim people that wanted to conquer his hometown. So he passed all his whole life to run away from this danger, till the moment in which he said, I want to stay in Armento. No? So he asked to God the permission to fight, to use violence in a certain way to defeat the enemy. And he obtained the permission to say, I don't want to move anymore. I want to stay here. And so I think that it is a special value for us and has very little to do with religion. It has to do especially for the idea of civil idea of being in a place. Please go on. This is another work from Igor Scalisi Palminteri, the artist from before. Are two old doors. This kind of village has two different parts of the village. One of these is quite totally abandoned. So this is ideally one of the doors of an abandoned house. Also here, we have the problem of immigration and so on. And one of these old doors is hanging from the ceiling. And while you enter in the gallery, in which we have instituted a little museum of icons that comes exactly from this place, you also see these strange doors of a place that you can see, an ideal place. While you turn around, you find that these are two icons themselves, dedicated to the two saints that were buried in this place. Please go on. This is Armento. This is the place where San Vitale is buried. And this is one of these little two towns in which we are working about the idea of bringing back to the common idea of participation these two figures of saints. Please go on. And this is the abbey of San Chirico Raparo, Sant'Angelo al Monte Raparo, that was founded by San Vitale itself. The saint that has a really strange iconography because he's bringing on his head an onion that is the symbol of accepting poverty, but staying trustful on themselves, staying in a certain way focused on what we want to be. Please go on. This is the coat of arms we were talking about. This is redesigned by myself, but for a certain reason. And this is so strange that we have a bishop that is also a fighter, and he is riding a horse on a coat of arms. This is quite strange also in Italy, in the tradition of coat of arms of Italy. And this is the emblem, the symbol of the idea of being in a place when you are in Armento. And so by designing this kind of process, we want to give the opportunity not only to the people, but to the whole world, to give a sense of what it means to decide to stay in a place and habit a place. Please go on. Thank you.